For the entirety of their more than 90-minute debate, Kamala Harris dominated, from her assertive handshake right at the beginning to the way she seemed to get under Donald Trump's skin.
People start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom.
But the policy differences between the two candidates was something we really wanted to see when they were side by side. Here are three riffs that really solidified on the stage. On abortion, an issue where voters trust Kamala Harris by double digits over Donald Trump. It was terrain for her to go after the former president for the ending of federal abortion rights and the overturning of Roe v. Wade.
The government, and Donald Trump certainly, should not be telling a woman what to do with her body.
On the other hand, from Trump, you saw a lot of the same dubious attacks of post-birth abortion.
Her vice presidential pick says abortion in the 9th month is absolutely fine. He also says execution after birth is okay.
Which you saw fact-checked, interestingly, by the ABC News moderators in real time. I think something that really undermined Trump in this specific exchange.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born.
The war in Ukraine is the most prominent example of conflict around the world right now, certainly the greatest scale. Donald Trump, though, was given repeated opportunities from the moderators to say that he thought it was in the U.S. best interest and wanted Ukraine to win this war.
Do you believe it's in the U.S. best interest for Ukraine to win this war?
Sort of fall right over the middle of the plate for him to hit. He wouldn't say it.
I think it's the U.S. best interest to get this war finished.
The obvious subtext there is that Trump and J.D. Vance and his wing of the Republican Party that they represent don't believe that it necessarily advances U.S. interests for Ukraine specifically to defeat Russia in this war. This would be a really important policy shift, I think. For Harris, the Ukraine exchange gave her the opportunity to show some foreign policy chops.
Because of the air defense, the ammunition, the artillery, the javelins, the Abrams tanks that we have provided, Ukraine stands as an independent and free country.
She talked about how many times she's met with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. She talked about some of the weapons that the United States has been sending Ukraine to support them in this war. This was, I think, an important bar for her to hit, the commander-in-chief test. When the conversation turned to healthcare, it exposed both candidates' liabilities. Since 2017, when then President Donald Trump and the Republican Congress tried and failed to repeal the Affordable Care Act, this has been a major electoral liability. I thought it was notable that Trump would not commit to trying to repeal the Affordable Care Act, nor would he commit to not trying to repeal the Affordable Care Act.
Just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan.
I have concepts of a plan. I'm not president right now.
Those sorts of vague answers I'm not sure are going to land well with voters watching at home. This was also an area where Harris was on the defensive.
In 2017, you supported Bernie Sanders' proposal to do away with private insurance and create a government-run healthcare system. 2 years later, you proposed a plan that included a private insurance option. What is your plan today?
I absolutely support, and over the last 4 years as vice president, private healthcare options.
You know, it gave the opportunity both for the moderators and for Donald Trump to point out some of these previous inconsistencies.
She won't improve private insurance. She wants everybody to be on government insurance where you wait 6 months for an operation.
One of Harris's biggest challenges in this race is explaining how some of her current positions don't necessarily match up with more liberal positions in the past. And when it came to this exchange on healthcare, I think that really underscored that. And it makes the conversation a little bit uncomfortable for her and might create some doubts in voters' minds as they're watching at home.